أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Now I'll ask the questions to you now. So let's read this verse and see the foundations of the action of heart. What is it? Anybody? Would you like to?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يعقلون بها أو آذان يسمعون بها فإنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور.
صدق الله العظيم. Now the translation.
So have they not traveled through the earth and have hearts by which to reason and ears by which to hear? For indeed, it is not eyes that are blinded, but blinded are the hearts which are within the breast.
What's going on here? This verse is mixing up everything. It seems to be maybe changing our understanding or concepts. Is there anything strange in this verse? Yeah. Mixing up heart and mind, and also jumping from one subject to another, traveling on the earth, and then talking about heart, talking about hearing, and then coming to blindness. But not the eyes are blind, but the hearts are blind, the hearts which are in the breasts. What's going on? Everything is mixed up. Is it? No? Or do you know?
Makes sense.
Makes sense?
Later.
No, now. Okay, too early to decide. Then
I don't see any contradictions.
sorry?
I don't see any contradictions.
No, not contradiction. Mixing up, but there, to our understanding, to our normal daily language and our concepts that we usually are familiar with, these concepts. But it is mixing up, but also jumping from one point to another. Not mixing up, jumping. Seems to be. So we will understand that this is the general trend in the Quran. Whatever the subject the Quran deals, it always skips the part which is either understood already or irrelevant. Doesn't speak like that one. So there is no full picture of any story in the Quran. Almost no. Some people argue that chapter Yusuf and the story of Yusuf seems to be consistent, starting from the beginning to the end. Apart from this, the other stories of the prophets or ancient tribes or nations, they jumps from one point to another. Seems to be. So we have to be careful about it. Either it is irrelevant or it is hidden between lines that the reader can understand. Now here, the principles are established. First, what are the first principles? As I understand, that in this verse, God says, travel through the earth. Now, we discussed this before. I know there was a similar halfway through, similar verse, half of this verse, similar, traveling through the earth. We said traveling through the earth doesn't necessarily mean that we have to join a world tour of a touristic organization or a travel agency. Travel through the earth means really look at things around you. That is the earth. For example, for let's say a biologist who studies in the lab, his or her earth is going through one cell into another. Or if this person is really studying microbiology, from one part of the cell into another part of the cell. It says earth. It means outside world, experience it, interact with it, and try to make sense of it. If God says, they should travel through the earth, or you should travel through the earth, what are you doing? Are you supporting the tourist companies or travel companies? What are you doing here? No, it's God speaking. When God speaks, of course, He's not really encouraging for the touristic purposes. That's obvious. It means it must have something to do with the purpose of our creation. And what the first point comes to my mind is, definitely you cannot have an introvert thinking or reflection. You have to go out. But this is the first stage. Look at around. Because this world, outside world, is created for you, is prepared for you. You cannot ignore it. You cannot say that this is irrelevant to me. So I am more interested in my intuitions, my inner world, this kind of language. Quran says, no, go out, go out, have a relationship. That's one. The other one is, the second one, what it says, yes, you go out, you can see the things, but at the same time, you can see the objects around you, you can collect the data from there and try to understand the wisdom in their existence and the purpose in their creation, etc. But come back now. Have heart. It means internalize it. Make it and make an analysis of what you have already collected from outside and combine them with your human senses. So analyze them, try to make sense of them, come to a conclusion, saying, oh, this is for this, there is something there that really attracts my attention, I have to think about it, etc. The second stage. Now take it in. But take it in means internalize it. It means really take the data into your own emotional world, human emotional world, but don't really make it only a subjective, not only subjective, abstract things. Make sense of them. I found, of course, this is a very common language that the Quran encourages the reader to reason with your heart. I understand to reason, but with your heart. It means you cannot really separate the power of reasoning from emotional side of human beings. We cannot separate it. Power of reasoning is to be taken, to be used and utilized within our emotional side of human emotional side. It is hard to understand because we are so much, if you like, indoctrinated or trained to think rationally in a reasonable way, only without letting our emotional side interfere into our reasoning. They say, don't be emotional, be rational, like a judge. Don't use your, it's impossible. Don't use your human emotions and feelings. It is impossible, we are human beings. But in this verse, by mixing the vocabulary, thinking and reasoning with heart, so heart is, or the human senses, human emotions are given to us in order to, what? It is strange, isn't it? Who doesn't find it strange? We are not used to that. I'm not used to that. I mean, sometimes I try personally, it shouldn't be a lie, so I shouldn't tell a lie. So make it, it's the reason at the background of my feelings. Don't ignore it, don't exclude it, don't exclude your feelings. You cannot, you shouldn't separate it completely. But when we use usually pure reason, they call it pure reason. Yeah, pure reasoning, it is a deliberate attempt, must be a deliberate attempt, in order to avoid our feelings to interfere in it. But some people, sometimes we say, no, use your emotions, but in order to, when we use your reasonings, when we use our emotions or feelings, it kind of, we say it is a kind of intuition that we are receiving, as if, no, don't use your mind. Especially when it comes to religious matters, don't use your mind. Because religion cannot, with religious matters, spiritual matters, cannot be understood with reasoning. So what Quran does, breaks all these set understandings or sharp categories, combines them. So we have to train ourselves. How am I going to reason with my feelings? Have you ever tried? It's hard. It's really hard. Is reason with your heart. How are you going to do that? It's difficult. Eh? We are not trained. We are not used to. Although, ideally, definitely we cannot have a sharp distinction between pure reasoning and pure emotional analysis. We cannot do that, feelings only. So if someone says, what the Quran is saying, look, they should have, or the reader should have ears by which to hear. What does it mean really? Well, of course, the words we understand, it's simple. But ears by which to hear. So I hear physical voice out there, physical voice. So this is the tool, hearing is the tool, the ears are giving to us, is a tool to hear. So well, I hear, everybody hears. What is the purpose of the Quran to teach me? Everybody hears. Is there anybody who hears ear, who has ears but doesn't, not deaf people, but normally everybody hears. What is the purpose of Quran when he says you should have ears by which to hear? What does it mean? You say, yes, I am hearing, sir, you are right. Is it? What does it mean? Any comment?
So seems, I mean, it's very, everybody knows what you're going to hear, right? So I think maybe the idea of it being written or presented in this way for us to question, well, what should we be hearing? If it's something that is different from the norm, then it has to be something that we're probably might not be in our direct awareness. So in this sense, we're sort of questioning, well, what exactly should we be hearing?
So do you see the sequence of the teaching go and travel through the earth and take things into heart, and in the heart, the data you have collected from the outside, you should reason with it, and then when you hear something, take it into heart and reason with it, incite it, internalize it. Do you see that? Yeah. And he doesn't say, for example, should eyes to see, omits, skips that part, because you understood. Ears for hearing, nose for smelling, tongue for, you understand, but take it in and analyze it and see the reason behind it. Try to understand the reason why those things are out there. What do they have anything to do with me? What am I going to do with them? I had to question. Think about it. Not because I like this voice, for example, or I heard what you said. Okay, but take it in, think about. Of course, what does mainly the Quran ask us to do? Mainly. Now, I know my question is not clear at all. When Quran says this kind of things, think about it, take it into heart, and hear what I am saying, and see what I am showing to you. What is the aspect of the most important thing that the Quran requires us to reflect on?
To reflect on our own reality, to that reach the reality of the creation and God.
Okay, look at there are some. Thank you. Our own reality. Our own reality. What do you mean by our own reality? I mean, a little bit explanation. I'm not asking you to be a philosopher, just a little bit. My reality, I want to take the subject into the purpose of the Quran. Because let's study the Quran from its own perspective and make sense of it, whether it makes sense to me or not. Right? Quran says, what does the Quran say really? Why does God speak to me? Why does it speak to me?
Practice my free will.
Yeah, free will, but everybody practices his free will. So, I don't need anybody who tell me that I should practice my free will. I'm forcing, I know I'm forcing. So everybody practices the free will. So God says, practice your free will. Or here we can make a joke, use your ear. Yes, I'm using, people speak and I hear. Why are you telling me? So practice your free will. Yes, I have my free will. I am using it. I am here today. And tomorrow you won't be here. You won't see me here. Why? I will use my free will to be somewhere else. Do you see what I mean? So I'm doing it. Why? I don't need God to tell me. What is the purpose? Would you like to say that?
To guide us.
Guide us to where? How to go to New York?
Guide us now. The best way to use our free will to direct.
Yeah. What am I expected to do when I use my free will? So what is the purpose of the Quran? Since two people are coming with the free will, it must be important. Yes, it is important. What am I expected to do with my free will? Yeah, confirm.
That God exists. Or what I'm reading in the Quran.
No, then it will be a circular in front if we say that. Although it is right, but of course we have to, use more proper language as far as the discovering the purpose of the Quran is concerned. Now, when you say confirm that God exists, because Quran speaks from God's perspective, but it is the conclusion. It is I should come to this conclusion as Quran expects me to come to the conclusion. But how am I expected to come to this conclusion and come in and be in congruence with the Quranic teaching? It is the word of my Creator. Somebody?
I don't know. I guess for me, like, it has to present something that you can't get without, or revelation has to bring something new that you don't see, or answer some question that you have in your existence, which you wouldn't be able to answer by just looking at what's around you.
Yeah, by just looking at yourself. So, for example, how can I come to a conclusion and confirm what the Quran as if biasly say? Quran's language is as if it says, I am God, I exist, and I expect you to confirm me. But these kind of verses, there are plenty in the Quran, these kind of verses. How to come to this conclusion and confirm it and come to an agreement with what the Quran says, what God says in the Quran, or really confirm it. How can I do that? What is the fundamental thing that the Quran asks us to contemplate on, to reflect on? As far as the things around me, including myself, I have to be in contact with the things, but what am I expected to do with the things? What am I going to question about this world?
Will they be the source of my happiness?
That is again, to me, I'm being harsh. Yeah, that is again to me, you have to come to agreement and declare peace with the text. You will be comfortable with it. Otherwise, there will be conflict, there will be fight. So how are we going to come to an agreement that the Quran says, if you follow this way, you will come to an agreement with me? As comes to Eric's point, you will be comfortably confirming that confirming the news that teaches you what you did not know. How am I going to do that? The Quran, it doesn't say it clearly. Sometimes, depending on one's reading, how you read the Quran, of course, every text has different meaning according to the attitude of its reader. So the Quran says, read me in this sense. So when you are careful about it, that is important. I will come to a conclusion that if I had not read this text, I wouldn't be aware of it. It means something to do with my Creator, approved, because I wouldn't know if I had not heard anything from this kind of scriptures, the Quran or other scriptures in their time. I wouldn't know, man, this word looks mysterious, but I don't know what it is. But looks mysterious. Everything is so extraordinary. They call it miraculous. But what is it for? I don't know. Seems to be, I'm surprised and I am in awe. Yes, everything is so perfect, exciting, awesome, but I don't know what. But the Quran says God. But how can I confirm this unknown, unseen, otherwise unknowable word? Otherwise means if the scripture did not tell me. Unknowable word, which means really simply absolute word, not limited, which exists within time and space. How can I do that? How am I expected to do that? It's very into this subject, actually, the subject of this verse. Try.
Does it have to do with, I don't know how to like say it in English, but like استفتي قلبك,
Sorry?
like
See, somebody
like
translated it
you
in
follow your heart with intuition, yeah, with يعني what, I don't know how to say this.
So, but you are going to follow your heart, but the Quran says here, strangely, while you are following your heart, you have to reason. And the word is exactly, no mistake in it. يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا. Every Arabic-speaking man, everybody says, يَعْقِلُونَ has something to do with your brain. But the Quran says, bring your brain into your heart, and your brain must function there in your heart. That's why I started the discussion with this verse mixing up everything. Our concepts are upside down now. So,
I'm trying to understand your initial question. So are you saying that how can we confirm the absolute source without any scripture? Is that
so how are we?
How
I use
can
one
we-
word. Convince what?
how can we confirm
Confirm.
the absolute source without referring to the scripture? Is that what we're trying to?
Or without benefiting from the scripture. Not confirming, but what they're referring to. Benefiting from hearing what scripture says. Right? Do you see the difference?
So in other words,
Yeah.
if I'm observing, make it practical. So I'm observing an object, let's say a flower is growing, and I start questioning, okay, where is it coming from? Who's the maker and all that? I mean, I'm watering the plant. So is it water that's causing the flower to grow? What's going on? I have all these questions. So do I come to conclude that there must be an absolute source giving existence to the flower without benefiting from?
Absolute source? It is very difficult. I don't think so. I tried myself with my own self. If I did not hear anything from scripture, I would look at the flower. I would say, what's that? Growing, yeah. Let's make it, how to say, fast picture or filming it, yeah. Nowadays, very fashion. Everybody uses this. It comes up. I would say something mysterious. Water cannot do that. No, air molecules, what are they? Nothing. They don't know what they can't do that. I don't know. But something really mysterious. I don't know. That's it. I don't know.
So I'm clueless, basically.
Sorry? No, there is an. Sorry.
I said I'm clueless without.
Sorry.
I have no clue without referring it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a mathematician here. Correct me. If when what the mathematicians define, not all the definitions of infinities, when a person, a human being, cannot get to the end logically, they call it infinite. They don't really mean what we mean in our discussions here, absolute. Right or wrong? So he said yes. So we got the confirmation from our mathematics professor. So the science speaks. So we have to submit. That's why people usually restrict themselves within the universe and use the vocabulary which is valid within the universe. They cannot develop any vocabulary which is not within the universe. It means which is not subject to time and space, because I cannot imagine anything beyond time and space. That's because beyond my capacity. So not because I am limited, whatever it is, I'm creative. I cannot go beyond it. But I can reason about there must be something which is not of the same kind. That's my phrase, I like it. That's not of the same kind of time and space.
Without referring to any
No, without hearing and making sense of it, confirming it, hearing and I can confirm this message. It must be so. I cannot leave a flower coming out of earth because I poured water, or a baby because he ate some bread, or usually they eat chocolates. So then because she ate chocolate, that's why she's sweet. This girl. Do you eat a lot of chocolate? She doesn't say. Yeah, she does. Look, somebody confirms it. So that's why she's sweet, huh? So because she ate chocolate, she thinks, she loves, she makes jokes. Chocolate. It's ridiculous. So what we say, we don't know. But when we hear that, look, definitely, there is a maker of this universe altogether with its order that you are observing and interacting, I say, it makes sense. There must be something. That's why the prophets come with miracles, so that people will take them seriously. So we don't really believe what the prophet said because he performed miracles. That's out of time, out of context now, out of subject. But we have to know that. You cannot confirm somebody telling you something which doesn't make sense to you because this man performed something extraordinary. You say he's a magician. He's a magician. But when he brings a news, of course you take this man seriously and take the message seriously, not the miracle. Miracle is a way of drawing my attention and taking the person seriously, his message seriously, and see the consistency, what he says. For example, if man says, this is what I have done, it's a magician. But he says, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. But, I ask the creator, he responds back to me. What? It's a new concept. The creator responds back to me. Oh, it's a new concept. So what we do, is what he says, is it really true? Is it really true what he says? We question and take it seriously. In this process, the Quran always refers us to contemplate on, that was the question, what? Existence of the things. Everything. For example, existence of a stone. Okay. Shape of a stone. Okay. Hardness of a stone. Okay. Color of a stone. Quality of the stone. Whatever it is. Existence of it. This is, I feel, the point we miss. For example, how my feeling exists is the question. How, for example, not because I am seeing, I can see with my eyes, the sight, the seeing process exists, comes into existence. We have to always refer to the existence of any quality we can experience in the world, including ourselves. We have to ask ourselves, for example, that's very useful method. I found it. You can try yourself as well. For example, something happened here. Yeah, let's say a car ran over a cat. You know, the blood's everywhere. Oh, cat. You have to say, how can I explain the existence of this event? Which kind of feeling? Where did I get it? How does this feeling exist? Go to the source. When you go to the source, you go to your conclusion, and yours will be confirmed. I cannot attribute the existence of this feeling, sorry, pity, and taking or having compassion for that cat, and really feeling, I don't know how to find my word for it. Sorry? Feeling something that, oh, sorry? Say it so that I will understand the word.
Sympathetic.
Sympathy? Sympathy? Yeah. About this understanding, oh, shouldn't happen, it shouldn't happen, and you have to stop. How come this feeling exists? Ask the existence of it, you will find the source. Ask the existence of it, you will find the source. Everything. For example, I don't know, I poured water and the plant is growing. Typical example, classical example. So water and plant comes together and life springs. How come life? How does life exist? Look for the existence of it. Always pay attention to the existence of everything. I found it very interesting. People usually discuss about, for example, how does a child grow? And people say, okay, the cells are, you don't know, you haven't studied biology, and you don't know. The cells are reproduction themselves, splitting into two cells, and another renewing themselves. They go there. Okay, reproduction. How does reproduction exist? Renewing themselves. How does renewal exist? Yeah. Repairing or changing, taking the dead cells away. How does taking action exist? Pay attention to that, which is mostly omitted and, if you like, hidden from us by the secularist scientists. They never question about the existence. They only question the sequences of the order. Be careful. Sequence of the order in existence. They don't say, how does it exist? They take existence for granted and solve the problem. Seem to be. Ask the question, any quality that you have or you see. For example, sunlight. There is color in sunlight. You know, as it reflects, according to the object that it reflects, and some colors are observed, some colors are not. The ones which are not observed by the object, that's what you see. And it is explained. how does this object observes? How does it come into existence? And some of them don't observe. How does it exist? This phenomenon, how does it exist? How does it exist? When you ask the question, you never first be taken away by sequences of the order, explanations by following the sequence of the order, because you poured water, because there was sunlight, and there was minerals, and then air molecules. They worked together and made the plant. That's how usually explained. And it is in their nature, in their instinct, these qualities. Okay, how does this instinct exist? How does the thing itself exist, whatever it is, exist? This is a very essential question. When somebody takes existence for granted, easily falls into causality, explaining everything in causal chain. Because once you take existence for granted, that's it. You start seeing this exploded, this spread around, they started turning. Just a minute. How does turning exist? How does spreading exist? These are phenomena. How do they exist?
But it doesn't negate the process which something is going through.
No,
I
not
feel
at
like
all.
the existence
The
is almost a different question altogether.
So we have to ask the question about every step of the process. How do they exist? So when Quran says, for example, go and travel through the earth in order to what? Take a picture and show it to your grandson or daughter at home. And when we went to South America or somewhere, Brazil. These are the mountains there. No, not this. Think about the existence of it. How do they exist? Different things at different moments. Every moment changing. And change exists. Yeah? How does it? Okay. Now, ears to hear, hearts to reason. Go around, collect data. Don't close your eyes. Don't close your ear. Get all data and internalize it. Make sense of them rationally. If someone says, no, this is religion, I don't really use my reason as far as religion is concerned. Religion is something else. It is impossible. It is impossible. Okay. And, okay, it is not eyes that are blinded. So, but blinded are the hearts. Why? Which are within the breasts. It's inside you. Within the breast, not necessarily this heart, biological heart within breast. Within yourself. It is you. It is you, your reality. So when you take the data, if you don't analyze it, internalize it, analyze it, question it, and you become blind. You just saw it, and I went to somewhere, and there were beautiful, different kinds of birds. They were exciting. So what happened? How many kinds of birds were there? What? And then, you go online and search for their Latin or names and look a knowledgeable person, a settled person. So, but take it inside and make sense of it. Question it. What are we going to question? Their existence. Whatever attracted your attention. Existence of that point. Ask them, How come they exist? Ask. So when you question, you go into, you open, if you like, a window in your life. Definitely there is a creator behind, giving existence, the source of existence. So you understand that there must be a source of existence, and this source of existence is just demonstrating his qualities to you, making evident or understandable, confirmable his existence to you. So you confirm what the Quran says. Quran's purpose is to teach the absolute word, the creator. Yeah, everywhere. Through the qualities of the things we see in the world, we observe, we understand that the source of these qualities are who we call God. So this quality is coming from him. It means because of him, these qualities exist in the world. He preferred it. He willed it. He has chosen it. That's why they exist, these qualities in this world. So you get to know which kind of creator it is by looking at his work. Yeah. To me, it's so straightforward. There is no mystical thing about it. Everybody can come to this conclusion, to me. But you agree or not, I don't know. Do you have anything? Any objections? Do you? Yeah.
Which take precedence? Which one you make a conclusion? For example, you said heart.
I can follow it because
which takes precedence over the other?
Over?
Yeah, the other. For example, you say intuition, and then you have reason. So which one?
No, there's no division.
I understand that, but one is confirming the other.
No. What we call it intuition is reasoning according to the teachings of the Quran. There is no precedence. That's what we are reading this verse for. So there is no precedence. That is one thing. That's why we said everything is turned upside down in this verse. There is one thing. There are not two things. If someone separates reasoning from intuition, out of way. Methodology is wrong. We have to renew it. We have to renew our mind. All what we have heard so far is wrong. That's what we have to do here. So there is no precedence or, I don't know, sequence, because intuition is given for reasoning. That's why the hearts become blind. It means you see, if you don't internalize it, if you don't analyze it within your own human feelings and come to a conclusion which is confirmable by your reasoning, it is not the right way of reasoning according to the teachings of the Quran. So whatever you call it, your feelings, you have to question, you and I, everybody, we have to question the source of existence of these feelings and try to make sense of it. Whatever people call intuition or whatever, spiritual experience, etc., apart from, if it is not the subject of reasoning, it means the methodologically we are doing something wrong. If I say I am reasoning, but I closed my door to my emotions, impossible. There is one unit, not two. Human beings. Human beings. That's what we have to renew our mind here in this subject. This is very exciting for me. This kind of verses makes everything upside down. Although it's not the only one, there are many examples in the Quran. Teaches everything against or contrary to our secular understanding of the world. Don't say that we are not secularists, that we are believing Muslims. By including myself, I don't buy that. We claim to be believers. We claim to have some certain religious tradition and follow. In reality, our life has nothing to do with the belief we claim. We are secularist people, all of us. It's a big general statement, an accusation. Yeah, our mind works in a secular way. Always causal sequence we follow. Always we divide and separate religion from our word. Not necessarily that, Islam is the religion of what? Life, right? That's what usually we hear. When you say, okay, religion is religion of what? Life? How do you say way of life? They say way of life. Okay. What do you mean by it? When you become a Muslim, now you shouldn't tell a lie. You should pray. You should give to charity, and you should pray. You should fast. Look, life means rituals. This is wrong. Life means how you observe and how you make sense of the world you are living in. Which kind of creature or being you are in the world? What is your coordinations in creation? Where do you stand? What is your position? How do you regard your existence? This is 24 hours worship or acknowledgement of the Creator or your religion. Rituals are just a part of it, the physical expression of it. If someone fasts, for example, not because in order to experience that God is the most generous one, everything is from Him, and I have to respond back to Him. Fasting is what? Being hungry. Nothing. Only the worship, consciousness, worshiping, acknowledging, responding, make consciousness makes hunger or being hungry into a worship. Otherwise, it's not worship. So rituals will be or would be, if we did not have this in mind, rituals would be just physical activities. Instead of doing this kind of ritual, go do, I don't know, some physical exercises or, go on a diet or something. What makes fasting? We shouldn't be simple. You shouldn't be simple, people here. We shouldn't be simple saying that we fast. Why? Because God asks us to fast. What? God asks you to fast for what? To express something, to practice something. What is that? That I'm going to practice, I'm going to express through fasting. What am I expressing? That is the consciousness of your experience as far as eating, drinking, having something with others and entertaining them is concerned. You have to be conscious of it. That makes your action of fasting into a worship. Otherwise, following a tradition. In our tradition, we fast. Because in our religion, fasting is compulsory or ordained on us. So rituals are necessary, but as a result of consciousness of your position in the world or awareness of God. They are necessary, But if it is not the result of this consciousness, rituals become physical exercises. You know that? That's why we cannot say that Islam or our religion, the Quran, is way of life. That I'm not accusing anybody and comparing with anybody, but ask them means ask yourself. When you say, we all say that Islam is way of life, Islam's whole life. Okay, what is it? You know, while you are working, you have to stop and pray. Ritual, right? Go into ritual. Go into ritual. That's that way of life. Of course, everybody has some sort of rituals. And some people go after work, they go to the gym, and then you know they say what? Stress. How do you say? Relieve stresses. Yep, they have. Everybody has some sort of rituals. But what makes rituals into a worship? Your consciousness, your awareness. I think we all agree that way of life must be understood at the level of awareness, not the symbolic results. Symbolic results. Your awareness you express. For example, if you are happy, what you say, if someone offers you something, and you say, thank you. Yeah. Saying thank you in and of itself is nothing. Are you really feeling the appreciation, gratefulness, appreciating the offer made to you? Then responding back, that makes sense. Not saying thank you makes sense alone. Right? Inshallah. So, this is the preparation for remembrance of God. Now, if someone says we have to remember God, of course, we are human beings. We have tongue. We say, for example, remember God. God, or in Arabic, Allah. So, repeating certain phrases which make sense to us, La ilaha illallah. For example, yeah, there is no divinity, there is no divine being in this world, there is nobody, nothing in this world has divine qualities, but the Creator has all divine qualities. It means, divine qualities mean, what does it mean, divine quality?
Not of the nature of this universe.
Source of the existence of this world. Source of the existence of this world. There is a source, absolutely. This source has an entity, has an essence, definitely, but of the nature, I don't know, because I can know only the nature of this world. I cannot know something who is the source of existence of this, and I cannot know the nature of that. Because it is not of this nature, the nature of this world. I can only speak in terms of this world because I am a made, created being. So I cannot know my Creator in essence, but I know absolutely sure its existence. So, La ilaha illallah. So let's repeat this, La ilaha illallah. Keep remembering. Let's read this verse now. Let's go a little bit. Yeah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما المؤمنون الذين إذا ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم وإذا تليت عليهم آياته زادتهم إيمانا وعلى ربهم يتوكلون.
Now let's go a little bit fast now because I hope we established how heart works. That was my problem. So if someone says, you know, you have to remember God in your heart, what are we going to do? Quran says, yes, you have to remember your God in your heart. You have to make sense of it. Reason. That's straight. So, somebody, translation? Another voice, yeah.
Believers are only those whose hearts tremble with awe whenever God is mentioned, and whose faith is strengthened whenever his messages are conveyed unto them, and who in their Lord place their trust.
Okay, now let's start from this. Whenever his messages are conveyed unto them, so their heart tremble with awe. Okay, now let's. Who is the most religious man among us? So, yeah, okay. Look, yeah, I'm joking. I can't take another person, but I know you can bear. So, Allah. I said Allah. Did your heart tremble? But the Quran says when God is mentioned, yeah, we ذكر الله وجلت قلوبهم. Yeah, when God's name is mentioned, their heart trembles. Okay, I said Allah. Whose heart tremble? Brother Nader? Did it tremble? Huh? You would say no, the pronunciation was very bad. What's going on? So in order to understand something, we establish the base now. Don't worry now. I have to have some conclusions in my heart. This, for example, my father died. Mother. Father died, okay, but mother is never forget. I never forget. You cannot forget mother. If you have not experienced it, get ready. It's very difficult to forget mother. So my mother died. I am in the world, here and there, busy with other things. Somebody comes and say, I am excited about something. Let's make it more dramatic. So, and somebody comes, Ali, you know, I remember your mother was a, I said, my mother. All my memories come back. I forget about my environment. And I'm with my mother. Come. I am in another world completely at once. Because something reminded me. So, when somebody says God, we should forget everything and be in a completely different world. Yeah. Why don't we? Because internally, when I remember something, I should have I should have some sort of affiliation with it, which is innate in me. So this name or this phrase, whatever it is, should remind all my previous experience about it. In order to have the previous experiences, we have to go on earth and experience what he has done, right? And perform it in front of my eyes, my ear, my nose, my tongue, experienced all of them emotionally as well. And now if someone says, this is God, now you should remember, oh yeah, this one, the one who did all this for me. And the one who presented himself in this world for me. That's it, yeah, I forgot that. I just was looking at my, I don't know, my stuff, my belongings, and I was trying to arrange my room or something, you know, try to do some calculations, or I don't know, whatever we do. Oh, I forgot God. But I have some sort of familiarity, I should have, a sort of familiarity, it's a kind of awareness that somebody says God, or say, oh, everything should stop, external to my world, and my reality, remember it. But in order to remember this, I must be convinced. What is important? what we usually do, we logically conclude that this universe must have a creator. It is so obvious. It is so, it's not a joke. It is not a play. This universe, the things going on there, and out of a small cell, small egg, thousands, millions of fish come. And all of them are different color, different word. What is that? It must have an effect in me. I must come to a conclusion. Definitely the Creator is manifesting himself to me. That is the work of my Creator. Like I remembered my mother, rahimahullah. So that is what she did to me. That's how she worked, or she behaved towards me. Full of compassion. Everybody's mother. Full of compassion. Out of compassion, not in expectation of nothing. But nowadays, be careful, young people. Others are, yes, they take care of you, but expect you to be a doctor. Right? Yeah? Why? My daughter. And when I get old, my daughter will be, my doctor will be next to me. That's a little bit calculation. I call them that, when they grow or raise up their children, they invest in their insurance company. A little. Nowadays. Before, in the village area, in the countryside, they don't have insurance companies. They don't have this concept, this new phenomenon. Anyways, but usually the mothers perform their compassion and all their actions through compassion, which means they don't expect anything in return. Okay, what does the Creator of this universe expect anything from you? What are you expected to do? The whole universe is, including yourself, including your mind, including your senses, everything is yours, given. What is he expecting from you in return? What do you pay to him? Did you pay something? Tax? Yeah? Did you receive any invoice and pay something? I didn't. I have been benefiting for 66 years. Everything is for me. I didn't do anything. Don't say what we pray. Pray for yourself. That's for you. For your goodness. For your own comfort. For your own confidence. Consistency. For your own self. If you don't pray, you contradict yourself. You are uncomfortable. So we pay nothing to God. Who is more precious, mother or God?
And not a valid comparison, but I know that my mom will accept me no matter what I do, right? She will want my happiness, no matter what. Like whether I do very bad things, she will still love me.
Yeah, okay, that's correct.
And you're saying that God doesn't expect us to do anything, but to give us a permanent happiness, God expects us to worship Him, right? So in this sense,
what do you mean by worship? That's the problem.
like if I don't acknowledge Him, if I don't confirm Him,
Yeah.
then I'll go to hell.
No.
Well,
No.
actually I will.
No.
If I say God doesn't exist, I don't believe in God.
No.
What? No.
You don't go to hell. If you don't acknowledge Him, you make yourself, put yourself in hell. Exactly like your mother tries her best to comfort you, okay? To take care of you. If you give her a slap, what happens? To you, not the mother. To you, what do you feel? If you hurt her, what do you feel? You, nothing to do with mother. You. Tell me, really, what do you feel?
bad.
Yeah, that is hell. For you. Your mother doesn't do anything to you, don't worry. You do, you harm yourself. Quran keeps saying that I don't harm anybody. God doesn't harm anybody. You harm yourself. You take yourself into hell.
But God sets conditions for me. My mom does not.
No, God doesn't say anything. God gives you a sense when you do something wrong. Your creator created you with an automatic sensor. If you do something wrong, nowadays and soon, also technology has developed already, but they are not really producing it. The automatic drive, without drive, automatic driving cars.
Driverless cars.
Yeah, sorry?
Driverless cars.
Driverless car. Everything is automatic in the car. If it comes closer to another car, and there is another car stops, more than intelligent than you are. So so God endowed within us an automatic or a set of automatic sensors that when we endanger ourselves, something goes on. Red light. Don't go there. Brake. Automatic. So when we don't acknowledge the source of the blessings we receive, automatically our car stops. Do you understand? It is automatic within us. God doesn't really gives an extra thing to you. Because it is within me everything, we don't realize that when we don't acknowledge the source of our existence, we hurt ourselves. We are not happy. That is automatic sensors are saying that you are doing something wrong. That is for me. Do you know the driverless cars? If they did have, they don't. Consciousness, free will. For example, sensor says, don't turn right. Right? Sensor says, don't turn right. If the car had the free will and said, I'm going to turn right, what happens? The car gets crashed. So do you think this is the fault of the automotive industry? Because if it had a free will like me, so it harmed itself. It destroyed itself. So do you say that you engineers, you are punishing the car? It doesn't make sense. So God says, you provide your own hell, you provide your own paradise by acting according to your own, I don't like the word, but I have to use it, your own nature as you are made. We have to understand this. This externalizing the Quranic message is a problem in reading the Quran. So it doesn't mean that there is no hell. No. When the car has an accident, when it is totaled, what do? Take it to a junkyard. What is junkyard? Hell. Do you understand? So because it is no good for anything. It doesn't run. It destroyed itself. We have to understand that really, God says, look, be careful. I am only compassionate, nothing else. ورحمتي وسعت على كل شيء. على كل شيء. My mercy is everywhere. Even you have an accident, small accident, it is the compassion of the Creator telling you that if you don't respond to your sensors within yourself as it is made, as we are made, you get harmed. You can sense it, you can smell it, you can experience it. Oh, that's wrong. Yeah. As I is the first example. A mother, everything mother does, okay, in order to make our life comfortable, etc. If I am nasty with my mother, does my mother do anything to me? No. She just goes to her room and cries there, nothing else. I hurt myself. You know why? She knows that you are going to have a trouble, because your consciousness will definitely disturb you. And she will say, you did this, Aisha. So you did this to me, but you will be disturbed whole day, whole week. You won't forgive yourself. And I don't want you I don't want you to be in this position. I want you to be happy. She will be sorry for you again, although you hurt her. Exactly what the Quran says, how God treats with his mercy to his human beings. Yeah.
If my mom had the power, I'm sure she would take the pain from me, but she doesn't have the power. So all she can do is just go to her room and cry for me. So God is the most merciful, right? He has more mercy on me than my mom, and he has the power. So why does he, you know what I'm saying? Why doesn't that just change things? And
instead of saying, why does God takes the pain from me, why don't you say, why I choose the wrong way against my own nature? Why do we deny our free will? I can do this way, I can do that way. I'm free. Who wants to lose his freedom? Yeah, who wants to be in prison? I mean, so social, economical reasons. Some people don't want to stay in winter. You know, in Manhattan, not everywhere is comfortable in the street. So what they do as the winter approaches, they do a certain crime so that they will be punished with 3 months, so the winter will be comfortable in prison. Apart from these people, it's a calculation. It's a profession for them, not for very exceptional people. Apart from this, who wants to be in prison? Who wants to lose his freedom, her freedom, free will? Who wants to be a robot, a vegetable life? Who wants to be? So instead of saying, why does God do it? If he does it, you wouldn't have the option to choose, to exercise your freedom. So that is the most important thing. To me, freedom is everything. I keep saying that, but I don't know whether you really are aware of the importance of this. Freedom comes first, even believing God. If you are not free, you cannot believe in God. You have to be free. Because the first condition to believe in God or to appreciate the truth is to have a sound mind. That's the fiqh rule in Islam. If someone doesn't have a sound mind, he is not responsible for anything. Even for religion, for belief, nothing. Sound mind is necessary to use your free will. But I can see the consistency in every aspect. So we have to be happy. Oh, the time, I say that. Do you feel that the time is flying, not only me? So really we have to be careful to be consistent within ourselves and use our sensors. We are automatic sensors everywhere within ourselves. It's already included in Arabic language. The word is fitra, that the Quran uses in our nature, as we are made. So we are made as if driveless cars, we drive ourselves. Conscious cars drive ourselves with already automated system within ourselves. inshallah. So let's finish at least this first Quran. So it's very important, this subject to me. It excites me. It changes my concept, my worldview, my understanding of religion, completely different. So this says, whenever his messages are conveyed unto them, their heart trembles. Yeah, with awe. What are the messages? Ayat in the verse. Okay. Yes, ayatuhu, God's ayat. Ayatuhu, God's ayat. When God is mentioned, their heart trembles. وَإِذَا تُلِيَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ آيَاتُهُ آيَاتُ it means. That's for a grammar. It's simple. Don't think that I know more than you do. It's very simple. Ayatullah zadetum imanan. Their belief, it means their trembling of heart increases. Oh, Ihab, ready? So that Ihab will start going up and down. Vigilat Kulubi. Stop that. Now, we have to study this. But do you think we should study it next week? Yeah? Because it is already 15 minutes. Yeah, everybody is ahead of it. Okay, thank you for your question. Yeah. Sorry? No? No, okay, this is wrong. Do you realize a little bit that the way we reason and understand religion is wrong? It's nothing to do with the Quran. But what I can say, that is traditional, conventional understanding of religion. Although I don't want to say these people are bad, but without thinking, hearing. Now religion became a story. That we have to, at least in this section, in this group, we have to make it something substantial, understandable, and it makes my heart comfortable about an understanding of religion. No one should say, or we don't mean that's obvious, that there is no hereafter. No, that will be created after I die. I'm responsible for my life now. And I have to understand all the news that I hear in the Quran as to be experienced in this world. If I don't know at all about something, and if the speaker in the Quran asks me to confirm it, I say, sorry, sir, I am sorry, I have not experienced it. How can I confirm it? It's not belief. Belief is not imitation or blind acceptance. Belief is confirmation. If you don't have the evidence, if you don't experience it, how do you confirm? Right? Go to the notary public, ask that this is my signature. Who are you? Let's say my name is Ali. I don't know. Show your ID card, picture ID card, issued by an authority. So I will see this is Ali, the picture is you, and the public notary does, signs it, puts a stamp. I have seen that this man in the ID signed this. That's confirmation. Without evidence, you cannot confirm anything. I think we should study this verse in it. Inshallah. So it has different stages. Inshallah, we have to go through it. But while we are studying, do you notice that we don't cover a subject usually we study how to read the verses of the Quran. These are examples, only examples. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum an alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Thank you.